this is Noreen from Joya Cards and welcome to my video. Today we're going to do something really cool with this Thoughtful Journey Designer Series paper, which you'll see on page 47 of the brand new catalog. Now, I didn't get the stamp because I didn't care for the stamp, and I did get the embellishments, but yeah, let's just stick to the paper and the things we already have and some new things from the catalog, but it's going to be really cool. I'm going to show you 8 different cards that I've used with the paper. I also super utilized my card chart, which I do have on my website, joyacards.com/shop. It's all laminated. And what's great is it tells you the different card sizes and all the different measurements for the layering and some really important information on the postal code. But if you could do me a favor now, if you could like and subscribe, that would really help me out with my videos. But let's see the 8 cards that I made. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down the list, and the first one is an A1 note size card. Then we're going to do A2, A6, A7. Well, I'm not going to do an A9 because it's a 6x6 paper and I didn't want to make a huge card. I also did a mini slimline and 2 extras that are just kind of interesting. There's also a popular size slimline and a traditional. There's really 3 main slimline cards. So the first one is the note card. And this is, if you go to the card size, it's a 3.5 by 5. It'll also tell you that you either need a 5 by 7 or 10 by 3.5. And either score it at 3.5 or 5. And then here are all the background sizes for you to frame it. So this is beautiful paper. And what I found with this paper is that if you put like a sentiment tag of any kind, it just kind of overpowers this beautiful image. So there's only one card with a tag, and I'll show you why I actually used it. But this is beautiful, and I've got the brand new Petunia Pink in here, or Petunia Pop, which is my favorite color. Petunia Pop and Peach Pie, is it? And those are really, really cool colors to go with, like Misty Moonlight and Boho Blue. So we've got this. Now, I used the Unbound Love, and this is a new one. And you can tell, and if you're a demonstrator, you got to start doing this. You got to mark your stamp sets. So I put annual catalog 24-25, and then it has a die that goes with it. Also, I used Garden Meadow, which is a November 2023 online exclusive. It also has a die. So I really, and I'm not a sentiment kind of person, but this is a great stamp set. I used it for the entirety of the 8 cards without a problem. And I thought the With Sympathy on this beautiful background really kind of matched what was going on in here. And then I put Misty Moonlight here. Look at how beautiful it is against that Petunia Pop. It's really pretty. And then I stamped the flower, and I know it has a stamp set that goes along with this set, but I didn't like it. And I had this Garden Meadow, and it has these tall flowers here. So, and you'll see on the other cards that this really does kind of match. So I did it in Mossy Meadow, and then the leaves are the Old Olive and the Petunia Pop in the both light and dark. So this is my first card. It's a note card. Now this is the regular one that we all use, the 5.5 by 4.25. It's right here, and here's the card size, here's the paper size, the scores, and then all the framing. So I only took this down 1/8 of an inch, so 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. We all know that, right? And then you can also see on the side the envelope size and the postage. And we'll get to some of these rolls later, but look at the versatility of this paper. It is just beautiful. You don't need a lot. And that's why this set was so great. And I just put the whole hello there, and put the Petunia Pop again, and then the Petunia again, and white, and did the flower from Garden Meadow. So this is just really pretty. If you gave this to someone, they would go, wow, that's a really pretty card. So here's my second card. Here's card number 3, and this is actually an A6 size card. Now, that's a 4.5 by 6.25. The paper size is 6.25 by 9. You score it at 4.5. For this one, I only did 1 frame on it, just a little tiny bit, so 1/8 of an inch, which is 4 3/8 by 6 1/8. Now, when you're doing card sizes that are different from the 5.5 by 4.25, this is great to have because when I was looking like, okay, how many frames am I going to put down? How big? All I have to do is go to here. I don't have to like look it up on my phone what size it is. Is it again? This is a great tool. So I put, now this is in wild wheat. And I do not, that is my least favorite color in the whole thing. I just think it looks like baby vomit diarrhea. I just don't like it, but that's okay. And then I put the frame in Pretty Peacock, and I stamped it in Pretty Peacock here and used the happy birthday. This set is so good. And this is from the new catalog. Get this set. This is nice. And then inside, I've got Pretty Peacock, and I just did it the size of the one side. So it's only a 4.5 by 6.25. Now, when you're doing something inside here all the way up to the edge, just take a smidge off so it can close easy. And then I used the Pretty Peacock, boho blue, the white, and then I took a piece of the scrap from this paper and just put it on the inside. So, I mean, it's a beautiful card. Here's another A6 card. Now, when I was looking at that paper, it's a 6 by 6. I was really looking for a way to utilize as much of this beautiful background as I could. So when I was looking on this list, and this is another good tool to have, it's like, well, this is 6.25 by 4.5. And I don't take everything up to the edge. I always frame my cards. So that's like a 6 by, 4.25. So this is really an A6 size is the perfect size for an A6 to get the most out of it. So this is another one. So I did 2 of these, and they're completely different looking, but they're so pretty. So I did the same thing. I stamped this in Blackberry Bliss. Blackberry Bliss is in a lot of these cards as I go through them. And then on the inside, I've got the Mossy Meadow, the boho, the white, and I stamped this again from Garden Meadow, but these are just really pretty. Now, this is the biggest card I made, and this one is an A7. I didn't want to do an A9. A 5.5 by 8.5 is a huge card. I was trying to utilize as much of the 6 by 6 as possible, and even this card is a little big. In fact, this is, I don't know if it looks that great or not, but I made the back of one of the DS pages, and because it looks like water to me. So I thought, well, this looks like the edge of a stream. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and use the edge of In the Grove, just the die, and cut out this ragged edge here. So I thought that was pretty inventive. And then I lined it up, and what I used was Wanted to Say. Now, this is the only one where I'm using an actual sentiment die. And it's because I have so much blank here that it could support it. So I went ahead and did that and Wanted to Say. And then I thought, well, I need fish. Well, I had sea turtle, and that's from the old catalog or last year's catalog. And it's like I wanted to be able to use as much of my older stuff incorporated in newer stuff because, a lot of people have these sets. So I went ahead and stamped this in Mossy Meadow. And then I framed it, of course, and I knew what the frame was because if I came down to A7 and 1/8 of an inch, it's 4.78 by 6 7/8. So I didn't have to fiddle around and think about that. And then on the inside, I love Petunia Pop and Peach Pie together. They're so nice, and look at it against that misty moonlight. These are really pretty colors. And then I've got the white here, and I just stamped the flower. And this is another one where I took all the frame sizes. So I went down to A7. I did one the same size as the card size, so 5 by 7, and I cut a little bit off so it could close. And then I went to 1/4 of an inch for the Peach Pie, which is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then for the white, I went down to the other yellow because they're all like 1/8, 1/4, and they go down. And then 4.5 by 6.5. So I didn't have to sit there thinking about it. So here is the largest card I did. Here's a mini slimline. So there's a big slimline, a mini slimline, a popular slimline, and a traditional, actually 4, I think I said 3 earlier. But the mini slimline was like a really cool size for this because a 4 by 9 would be too big for the paper. A 3.5 by 8.5 would be too big, and a 3 5/8 by 8 5/8 would be too big too. But the mini slimline is a 3.5 by 6. So that was great. And I knew if I wanted just a sliver of a frame here, it'd be 3 3/8 by 5 7/8. So I did that in Blackberry Bliss. And Blackberry Bliss, of course, is one of the colors on there. If you look at the back of the DS paper, it tells you all the colors, so you know what to stick to. So this was like super easy. And then I stamped it, of course, in Unbound Love, and stamped Love in the Mossy Meadow. And then on the inside, I've got that Blackberry Bliss in white. And this is the only card, and I hardly ever do it, that I put a sentiment inside because it said love. And I really liked what they had here. Makes the world a better place. I mean, that's a great sentiment, and I never do that. And then I went ahead and stamped it in Garden Meadow. And what I did on the inside, instead of using Petunia, I went ahead, used Light and Dark Calypso Coral. It is one of the colors on here, and that light and dark are really like, I mean, they're different and they really pop out really nice, and it matches the card. So here's a mini slimline. Okay, now this one I really go off the rails because this is a card, look at that I made with the Deckled circles. Now I've got to make a label for this because I thought it was from an older catalog, but it's not. It's an online exclusive. So even, you know, I've been a demonstrator for a while. Even I get, you know, confused on where these things all come from. So make sure you put a label on here that says online exclusive, because this is not retired and you can still get this. So I took the largest Deckled circle, and there are tons of circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 14. I could have just looked at the back. 14 circles here. So what I did is I took the biggest one, and when I cut it, now this would be from a 12 by 12 piece of white, and Stampin' Up does sell 12 by 12s, and I cut it in half. And when I put it on my die cutter, I put the top plate just enough to not cover where I know, just the sliver of the right side or left side there. And then when I cut that out, I turned it over and cut the other side. Now, it's really important when you do that to make sure when you're cutting it, put it like a piece of tape or something on one point. So when you move it over, you know it's got to match that other side. That's the only kind of tricky part of this card, is when you close it, it all matches up and all the paper won't show. But I mean, in a perfect world, you can just use your scissors and just, you know, snip off the spots, because I did not do that. So I had to snip off the spots so that, you know, it worked. And then we've got this beautiful background, and I used some of those purple fine shimmer gems here. And that purple really goes well with this beautiful flower. And of course, I stamped this in Blackberry Bliss because of that purple. It's just so beautiful. And then I did, I took every other circle and made the frame here. And of course, this is Garden Meadow. And I did Petunia Pop and Peach Pie. They just go so well with the Mossy Meadow, and then Old Olive are the leaves. So this is my off the charts kind of card. This is really cute. Okay, here's my last card, and it's a square card. Now, it's really important to know that you cannot just put a square card in your mailbox and have it go through the post office. You have to have them hand canceled. In fact, the last one on here is a square, and it says, I used a 5 by 5 as an example, but at the end here, it's going to be about $1.06 to send anything like this square. Now, there are rules to the post office. It's almost like you have to have a degree in the post office to know what to do at the post office. So there's a ratio that a card has to be within. And I've got this aspect ratio here, and it's the length divided by height, and the ratio must be between 1.3 and 2.5 for the letter to be put through the mailbox and not subject to a machine charge. So I can't take this in, I can't just mail this without going in, either getting one of those, I've never seen those stamps for odd sizes, but supposedly you can, or you wait through the line and you got to have it hand canceled. So you got to, and it's a non-machinable surcharge is what it is. but you cannot just send these things through. Also, it can't be more than 13 ounces, thicker than 1/4 of an inch. I have noticed even when I've got something that's less than 1/4 of an inch, and I do have a template on my joyacards.com/shop site. There's a free PDF, I believe is free. Some of them, there's like a $2 charge. Some are, there's this in a PDF, but it's only down to a letter. And then these things are like $7. They come laminated. It's done on my color laser printer. That's a professional printer, not like a home office thing. But I have sent a card that was under 1/4 of an inch because I went right through that slot. And my sister-in-law got charged an extra 1/4 because they thought it was too big. So, which is totally, somebody's making money there. Anyway, but there are all kinds of rules to the post office. So this is a 6x6, and I just took it down 1/8 of an inch, and that petunia and peach pie are so pretty together. And I use those little dragonflies and birds. These are an online exclusive. See, I put it right here. Online exclusive from November 2023. Last time I heard for online exclusive, if they're older than a year and they're out of stock, you can resell them. I don't know. There's some kooky rules out there. But these dragonflies look really pretty because they're gold. They kind of match this wild wheat pukey color. Anyway, and then I stamped it in Blackberry Bliss, of course, using Unbound Love. And then on the inside, I just did some extra framing here because those colors just are so pretty. And then I used the peach pie and the petunia pop. And stamped this in Mossy Meadow, and the leaves are old olive. So here's my square card. Also, I want to say with a square card, I'm not gonna find an envelope that's gonna fit that. All you have to do is get one of these envelope punch boards. I'll put a link in the description of my video because these things are great. All you have to do is know your card size. It'll tell you what you have to cut your paper at. You line this out and pop, 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 and you can make your own card. And then when you put it together with tear tape. And then for the flap, just don't take the tear tape stuff off so it won't stick. And you've got an envelope. But these things are super useful. Even for that note card, if I didn't have any note card envelopes, which I do anyway, I could make one out of any color too. So you can use whatever color. If I wanted this to be the petunia pop, I could go ahead and make it a petunia pop color envelope. So these are great to have. So here are my 8 cards. If you want one of these, they come laminated. They're awesome. They're $7 on my site, joyacards.com/shop. I'll put a link in the video if you want to get that. And please, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. It kind of helps me get in the algorithm. And that will do it for me. Thanks so much. Bye.